starts now.
Good Sunday morning. Welcome to Ozarks Today, the weekend edition. I'm Sara Forhetz. Breaking news now out of Texas. 8 bodies were found dead inside a tractor trailer in San Antonio early this morning. 17 others are in critical condition, fighting for their lives, and 13 are in serious condition. Authorities believe this is part of a human trafficking ring or possibly a human smuggling ring. The 38 people were being smuggled in that truck, and it had no air conditioning with scorching hot temps inside. The truck pulled into a Walmart. A man got out of the truck and asked an employee for a drink of water. The Walmart employee brought him a drink and then called police and asked them to conduct a welfare check. That's when those bodies and people were discovered. The driver was arrested. We don't have any information on him yet. Now, once the victims undergo treatment, this case will be turned over to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. We'll have much more on this developing story as we get it. Of course, this type of crime, not an isolated incident. As you know, here in Springfield, authorities are still looking for 8 Asian females and 1 white man in what they're calling a human trafficking ring here. All those wanted were running massage parlors in town, said to be forcing their employees into prostitution with evidence of human trafficking at 13 spas. Now to St. Louis. Protests continue at a jail in St. Louis that doesn't have air conditioning there, but it is still packed with inmates. The no AC issue is the norm at the jail, but it has just reached a boiling point in the last few days. Now the city says a temporary help is on the way.
What's going on behind those walls is immoral, it's inappropriate, and we demand that it stop.
People of all ages gathered to raise awareness about what they call inhumane and unjust living conditions inside the workhouse.
In addition to not having their freedom, are now experiencing what I would call cruel and unusual punishment.
The facility holds about 750 inmates, all awaiting trial. Demonstrators say the living conditions are deplorable, with mold, rodent infestations, and no air conditioning.
And even upon learning that the city has said that they will install air conditioners, we've been in a heat advisory for the past week, and that's unacceptable.
The city announced it will install 5 portable air conditioners, which should bring the temperature down to about 78 degrees in the older parts of the building. The city expects all 5 units to be online by the end of the week.
The temporary air conditioning that they're going to put in for a week or 2 is a small Band-Aid on a big wound.
We'll keep you posted on that story. Now we go to Ozark County. Authorities there are asking for your help in finding a teenage girl who has autism who went missing from her home. The Ozark County Sheriff's Office says Savannah Lecky, who's 16, went missing on Thursday from her home in Long Run. Authorities believe she may be attempting to return to some family members in Minnesota or may be heading toward Hollister to a relative's house there. She's described as 5 feet 2 inches tall. She weighs about 120 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. She may be carrying a computer bag. If you see her, you're asked to call 911. Now to this, heat from the sun is being blamed for sparking a small fire in Taney County. Crews were called to a mobile home around 10 o'clock yesterday morning for reports of smoke coming from the mobile home. Well, when they got there, they noticed that 3 windows were leaning against some metal. Upon further investigation, they concluded that the glass had heated up from the sunlight, caused the radiant heating of the metal, and that prompted the particle board to smolder. That home was not significantly damaged. Well, the worst of the heat should be behind us, at least for this week. Meteorologist Liz McGiffin joins us with a tiny bit of a cool down headed our way, Liz.
Yeah, you know, at least we'll see a little bit of relief. The temperatures will be maybe a little more less hot than actually cool for us, but at least we'll be working our way a little farther away from 100 degrees. Doppler radar, it's been kind of fun to watch those showers at least inch their way toward us, but we really haven't seen much of anything here across the Ozarks as far as the much needed rainfall is concerned for us. And you'll notice showers now, well, we might be seeing a few sprinkles up by Osceola or the Stockton area. Most of the activity still happening in the far eastern Kansas. As far as what we're looking at now, well, we do have more cloud cover outside, so there's a little bit of good news, but that does still mean we have plenty of moisture. So the warm and muggy conditions are another thing that we're still watching for as we head throughout the rest of your afternoon. Now, temperatures across the board, well, they're still a little warm, still a little muggy. We're sitting at 80 degrees for West Plains, and we still do have that combination of excessive heat warnings and heat advisories through the afternoon. I'll let you know when we can finally see some showers and cool things down at least to the upper 80s and low 90s coming up.
All right. Thank you, Liz. See you soon. A husband and wife are dead, both from gunshot wounds. Investigators are calling it a murder-suicide. Several agencies were working the scene yesterday morning in Baxter County, Arkansas, near Mountain Home. A family member called 911 after finding the couple dead inside. Jane Farley, the caller's mother, and his stepfather, Kenneth Farley, were both shot to death. Investigators believe Kenneth Farley shot Jane twice, once in the back, once in the chest, and then shot himself in the throat. A pistol was located next to the body of Kenneth.
I was shocked. My husband told me, but I worked today, so when I got home he told me, and I said, no, that didn't happen. And he said, yes, another neighbor had told him that's what happened. So we're all in shock.
The bodies have been sent to the medical examiner's office in Little Rock. Cities across the country are struggling to deal with a growing opioid crisis. The city of Buffalo, New York, has at least one overdose death a day. They're now trying a new program to change that. It's being called the first of its kind, a court that puts addicts immediately into drug treatment instead of jail.
All right, how are you feeling today?
Inside this courtroom in Buffalo,
Keep up the good work.
Judge Craig Hanna is on a personal mission.
I think our job as a judge is not to hurt people. It's just to make sure they come out of here better than they came in.
He's presiding over the nation's first opioid crisis intervention court of its kind. Unlike typical drug courts, this program gets users into treatment within hours of their arrest, not weeks. It requires detox, strict curfews, and checking in with Judge Hanna every day for a month.
Our main goal is to keep our participants alive.
So far, they've succeeded. Since it kicked off May 1st, none of the nearly 80 participants has overdosed.
For you, this is a life and death struggle. Every day.
Every day. All day, every day.
Ron Woods says his heroin use started with an addiction to painkillers following cancer treatments, and that Judge Hanna helped save his life.
When I found out he was a recovering addict, my whole outlook changed.
That's right. In his younger years, Judge Hanna says he himself abused cocaine and marijuana.
I didn't know I was addicted because it becomes so much of a part of your life.
His program is now funded by a 3-year, $300,000 Justice Department grant.
What makes it unique is that it is one of a kind right now. Do I think it can be replicated? Most certainly.
It's part of a growing movement nationwide to come up with new ways to fight the opioid crisis. 8 other states have announced they'll study how to expand treatment within the criminal justice system.
I think the tide is changing in our country, that you can't lock away an addict. You have to give treatment.
How important is that personal connection?
I think that's the most important part. They're me. The only difference between myself and one of the participants is time, and what you do with that time in between.
In this court, the defendants aren't the only ones getting credit for time served.
We're always still going to be here for you.
Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, Buffalo, New York.
Pretty cool, huh? Back here in Springfield, a community-wide effort to protect your personal information from hackers. Dozens of people were on hand yesterday at Drury for the B-Sides Cybersecurity Conference. A Westport professor led the conference discussing cyber defense and deterrence in the 21st century. There were also seminars on different types of malware and how to better defend your network and systems.
Everything is connected to the internet now, and with that, we become more efficient, but we also expose ourselves to more vulnerabilities, and attack surfaces increases for folks who really want to do harm to us.
This was the conference's first year in Springfield. If you're interested, keep it in mind for 2018. They'll be back. Still to come, new sanctions to be decided on for Russia. What's coming up in a key vote later this week. Plus, more heat, more humidity, but some rain now in the forecast as well. Liz is tracking the when and where when we come back.
in the Ozarks. You're watching KY3 Ozarks Today, Weekend Edition on the Ozarks CW with Sara Forhetz and Storm Team meteorologist Liz McGiffin. The place to be, on air, online, on the go.